Welcome back, everyone. This is our Wink 7, and today we've got a extension of my original power prestiging video where I show you guys how to use minimal amount of businesses. In that video we were using a quality 3 Museo and be able to prestige using just cool cats and other commons all the way up to its current prestige. That way you can move on to the next division quicker. So with this technique, I'm going to sort of expand on it and show you the true minimalistic approach that you could do. That is also working in Division 1 so that you can power up and get to Division 2 quicker for a little bit cheaper. Now, for example, I want to just show you guys quickly here. Sorry, let me just put this back on mute. We just finished finding the cubs, so switch that. So for example, I want to look at, let's say, just 250 and higher for Division 1. And you'll see these are going for quite a bit. So, you could try to spend 4 million vouchers, which is like, 4,000 crow to get yourself a business. And this would definitely have no issues pulling you up. You probably wouldn't even need to do the technique I'm about to show you. But the route I decided to go was to get something a little bit more feasible off the market. So shout out to Gary Pug. He had helped me out quite extensively on getting a business. And I'll show you which one it is in a moment. But let's just take a quick look. So there's a few. I mean, it's going to be expensive if you want to do the other technique where you just buy 289s to get up to the max level, have 95 of them and move on to the next prestige. But they also, the big reason why a lot of people would do the power prestiging technique is they already have the businesses and they don't want to spend the vouchers, and maybe they also have the diamonds. My biggest limit was I had to wait for my diamonds to regenerate to sort of do the final push here, which I'm going to try to do on video, maybe not by the end of the video, but hopefully by the end of this weekend I will be in Division 2. But you can see here there are some fairly expensive still dens and Leo and Co's. So, you could pick up something like this. It's got an okay roll on it, quality 4. This is almost the exact same type of business I'm using. Something like this, you would have hoped for a little bit better roll with the extra 2 quality. But it doesn't look like the person tried very hard on rolling a very decent business here. And then of course you got this one, so you could see the difference between the qualities. This one's got a really good roll on it, being 43 versus 25 here. So you could pick up something like these, and this is what I'm going to be using for this technique. But it does take a lot more activity and it is a lot more enduring than what the traditional method that I showed you guys to get out of Division 0. Let's see, just for final sake, what else we've got on here. So, you could pick this up, I guess. I wouldn't bother spending that amount on it. It's kind of expensive. Nothing really jumping out, but you could see the difference between the prices here. Obviously, with the epics, right, and higher quality, you're going to get a lot more cash potential, which means you don't have to do the drop-down technique as much. You could probably just put a booster on. If it's imbued, maybe that even helps. Something like this imbued to quality or element level 3 might help out. But again, 9.99. So basically, what is that? 10,000 crow. So that's pretty expensive business there. This is almost 9,000 crow. So, kind of expensive if you're going to be purchasing something big like this. Anyway, so enough of the prelude to what's going on. As you can see, all of my lands are set up with some sort of business combos on it. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I have to remove all these business combos. So right now I'm at 58.36, and that is with both of the quests active here. So I still got about 25 minutes left of the base quote there. I guess I could go place 5 pieces of furniture and just to extend it. But I'm not too worried about it. And I also have this one complete, so still have a day active on this. So this gives me just that little extra to get me above the 58. I think normally I'm at 58, so it gives me that extra 0.36. So let's go to Stygian Storm, and let's just start removing all of my business combos. and then I will meet you guys back in a moment. So just give me 1 second and we'll clear out majority of the stuff. All right, so we got mostly everything removed, and I will take you through what we will be using. So again, shout out to Gary Pug. He had built me this one here, so it's been doing a pretty good job. Now, I usually can get about a prestige or 2 out of it a day if I'm not actively playing, just sort of like log in, level up my businesses. And when I'm doing that, typically what I do is, you can see I just keep it at the upgrade prestige. Because I am using cool cats for the most part, it makes it a lot easier. So you can just tap your 100 X's all the way up until you just have the 1 X's left. Then you can click the max. So what I'm going to do is we'll finish this off as well. I have a few more to get up to 66 or 266. So we'll just go through, level these pieces up. And that way you'll see this jump to probably 6 CG, somewhere around there, 5 or 6 CG. Oh, I want to remove that. And this is going to be similar to what I do when we're doing the drop down. It will take a bit for me to build up a proper booster to be able to do this technique, but I will do that mostly off camera, just let you know how many it did take overall. And then you'll see sort of the repetitive pattern I get into to be able to make this technique work with just 1 den. So we're going to finish going through. We'll clear all these lands. Now I do have this here, and you can see they're all at 5S. This is to help with the drop down technique. As long as I don't get hit with something that affects this business, I have 1 on every single land, and that way it's going to basically show me which land has the best bonus. So when I am removing this business and doing the drop down, I'm going to be placing it on the land with the highest bonus. I'll leave it on for the moment, and I will come back to you guys once we've got everything removed. I think for the most part, everything's kind of set up to be removed. I think most of them are already at 266. I think it's just my main land that I have to go back to and finish off. And when I am doing this, I do choose one specific main land. Now I mainly choose a region where I've got a lot of epics, at least. I don't have a lot of legendaries. I usually only have but 1 legendary for each region, except for the Block Nexus. This region I do have 2 legendaries, but the rest of the regions I usually only have like 1 epic, a couple rares and stuff like that, other than my Sapphire Sanctum. So my Sapphire Sanctum has sort of become my main land that I do a lot of this prestiging, because I can set up all the cool cats on like 6 lands, so it's a little bit easier, rather than like once you start hitting the rares, you only could fit a few, 12, 14 on them, something like that. So I like to try to keep it as minimalistic as possible, and stick to the larger lands if I can. All right, because like you can see here, I've only got this epic, and then we're on to rares. Whereas with Sapphire, if we come and check it out, as I go through, I'm going to have to level all these up anyways. But legendary, and then epic, and then I got 1 more epic that I could fill up. And then I'm on to the rare. So I still have 1 more whole space that I could do, and this is usually where this will be what will get filled with the rest of the businesses. Anyways, I got to go through and still clear out this land. You can see I have still some of the business combos set up. So we'll just remove that for the time being. And right before we go, we'll just do a final check-in to see what the total count is for my diamond production. If you do remember, we are around the 58 mark, so we've already lost 4 million diamonds per hour just by removing some of the business combos. So we've already got some at 266 here. So I'm going to go through, finish leveling everything up to 266, and then get ready to start doing the drop down technique. So just hold tight 1 second. All right, it's not too bad for diamond loss. We are down to 52.21, so that was about a 6 million per hour loss. Now, we do have the last little business. You can see I got it up to a functional 267. If you look here, so satisfies requirements for 267. Basically what we're doing is we're just pushing. This will be one of the 95 businesses, and we'll have 92 Cool Cats, one gym, and one diner to make up the other 94 businesses. So what we want to do here is we will remove this. We're going to drop down to 71 gold. Let me go and remove my tools and put on my weapons. There we go. Perfect. All right, so then we just wait for the leaderboard to reset. We're at 64. You can see currently a little bit here behind El Rey. Won't be long before I'm sitting in 21, and hopefully maybe even above Fiend for Crow. Might be a couple more days, but hopefully I do have the diamonds, I believe, that I need to be able to do the final push up to Division 2. So we'll see how much longer that takes. Let me check. Looks like the diamonds have dropped, so we should be down further. See, now we're at 49.85. Once we remove all of our tools and everything. Come on. There we go. So it's reloaded. Now that we're down at the bottom here, I'm basically just going to choose somebody that's for, void, farthest away. And what we're going to do is we're going to use these two. So normally I would use malware. It's the cheap one, and it's going to provide you with really the most bonus. But because we're sort of in a race right now to try and get up to a really good multiplier, I'm going to be using both. Plus I also have 116 in reserve here, so I'm not going to have to purchase them at about, I think they're 10 million diamonds a piece right now for me. So there we go. We got a 93. That's a really good hit. And then let's go and hit with the malware. I have enough of these in reserve as well that I shouldn't need to buy any. Oh, nice. Of course, I miss. Whatever. I wonder if that's because the leaderboard moved on me. Yeah, that's because the leaderboard moved on me. And that's one thing you got to watch out when you're doing dual attacks like this. If it does move, then you're going to basically miss the attack. So what we can do now is we will hover over this and just see which... I'll just leave it on Lucent. So we'll come up here, grab our main money maker and put that down. So you can see we went from about 5.8 up to 7.18. Now because I did miss that first malware, I'm probably going to need to send out about 6 more attacks. So another 3 rounds of attacking. Let's put our tools back on, and then I'll do the next attack cycle. We'll build up that booster together, and then you'll see the final part of putting all the businesses down, the leveling sequence that I do, and then removing them all and doing another sequence of attacks. And pretty much you just do this to keep the booster going as long as possible. So we've got another 20 minutes there before I can check in. Let's see. That was a pretty good boost. Not a bad hit. So yeah, we will check in again for the next hit, and yeah, we'll build up that booster together, pop a lightning boost on this business once we're ready to go, and then yeah, we should be hopefully rocking and rolling, moving through the prestiges pretty quick. All right, so we got about a minute left before we can send out another attack. So let's just get prepped here. Move our business. We're going to remove the tools, put our weapons back on. And let's see what we got. 40-ish seconds. So once these are both clear, then we're good to attack again. So let's go and see if we've dropped on the leaderboard yet. Not quite yet. So that's why I kind of do it a minute before. It gives me about a minute to sort of get the leaderboard reset, and hopefully it doesn't take too much longer than a minute. And then that way you're already right close to the people you're going to hit as soon as that leaderboard refreshes, and As long as you're quick on the attacks as well, hopefully you don't miss one like I did last time. Let's see. Hopefully it refreshes sooner rather than later. Let's see what we're looking at here. Abilities. Okay, so they are ready. Use attack. Come on. There we go. Okay. Let's get this guy. Send in the gang. I kind of wish we could just get the number. You know, we're sitting here for like 10 seconds watching this thing spin, and then it goes, oh, missed. Nice. Cool. Especially on that one. I hate when you miss the kingpin. It's such an expensive attack. But, you know, 95% chance in here. It might as well just be a coin toss. 50-50. There we go. Not very good. Might have to do another whole round of attacking. This is not turning out the way it should. With 2 attacks being missed already. So, I mean, effectively, I have 1 full attack cycle out. I got a kingpin out and a malware. So let's see what we're looking at. These are both at 19, so we'll just put them back on this land. And yeah, we're good to go. Okay, so we're at 11.39, not too bad. The effective multiplier I am looking for is close to about 1,000. Probably about like close to like 600-700-ish from attacks, and then I usually put on a lightning boost. Lightning surge there. Now I'm not gonna put it on right now until I have the combo built up, otherwise it's just kind of a waste. I mean, because for the most part I could be at an effective 268 because everything that I have lined up is pretty much already maxed out and just needs the prestige button pressed. As you can see, I've already got everything up to 266. That's why this is functioning at 267. And then any of my other businesses, I think it's 89 I'm at right now, so I've got another 6 that are at 265. So you can see everything's pretty much laid out, ready to go for this final push. And I think I calculated the final push plus the promotion of 1 business to Division 2 to cost somewhere around like 10.6 billion. So I should have enough. I might even have enough to promote a second business, but we will see. So there's the ones that I got lined up from here down. Here's your extra 6. And you can see the prestige that I sort of left off here. Didn't quite finish the full prestige cycle of 231 to get them all up. So they kind of got left behind. And I just push forward with this 1 single business. All right. So yeah, we will be back in about 15 or 20 minutes, so something like that. Yeah, 18 minutes or so to try and hit both attacks this time. So fingers crossed. We'll catch you in a couple minutes. Alrighty, time to drop down again and send out some more attacks. Okay, we'll start off with the malware. Hopefully the malware hits okay. Not bad. I can go for a 220. And then let's hit this. This would be nice to get above 90 again. There we go. I'll take a 90. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so now we're going to go back and check. So let's go and put it on Molten Forge. Probably once I get this to around 40, it'll be good enough to go. So let's see what we're looking at. Overall, about a 400-ish percent, 487. So yeah, probably if I can land another solid 1 cycle of attacks, then I'll probably put all the cool cats down and get going through some levels there. But we will have to wait and see what we get. So hold tight for one more attack. Hopefully that's enough, and then we can get into the prestige cycle so you guys get an idea of what I'm going to be doing. And then I'll probably cut it off there just because it's going to be a lot of prestiging. I still have what? So if we're at 266 right now, so I've got about 22 prestiges to do before I can hit Division 2. So definitely some work to go into it. There we go. We can see Al-Ray's pushing a little bit too here, but I definitely will pass him probably in a couple hours. All right, so let's just hold tight. We've got about 20 minutes. All right, back for one more cycle of attacks, then we'll make the final judgment, see if we're able to get going on prestiging. Probably not, though. I don't think so. Looking at, so I usually like to be around like 1100 bonus, so chances are I'm going to need to do a second one after this. So it'll be a total of 4 attacks. Usually I do about 3, but like you saw, I missed the 1 attack of each, so that sort of puts a damper on the bonus. If I would have hit those extra, I probably would have been fine with just 3 attack cycles, but because I did miss 1 malware and 1 kingpin, I think I'm going to need to do a 4th attack. Oh, let's see here. Come on. There we go. No void I can hit, so looks like this guy's getting hit. There we go. That's not bad. This would be nice to hit like 100 or something. Come on, a 120 would be great. A 107, I will take that. That's beautiful. Okay, and then we can go put the tools back on. And then let's see what's got the biggest percentage. 38. We'll go to this one. There we go. Okay, so that added an extra 5, almost 5 CG. And let's see what the percentage is at. Yeah, still only at 672. So what were we at? I think like 29. So this only added about, I guess, 100%. So yeah, we definitely need to do another drop down attack, and then I will set up. As long as we hit those both, hopefully I'll be able to set up and move pretty quickly through a couple of the prestige cycles and just sort of show you guys what I'm going to do. I will be using Sapphire Sanctum again, so I will lay out all of my businesses on these lands. So work my way through. I think I usually go to about 5 or 6. So I'll probably end up having to set up all the way out to here, which isn't too bad. This would be the final land I'd have to use anyways. So yeah, we'll get everything set up and yeah, go through. So what I'll do is as I go through and place each of the businesses, then I will work my way from the back, click the upgrade button, and then usually like you saw earlier, I was doing the max button. I won't be using that. I will basically just level it up, leave it at level 1, move all the way forward until we get the next bump up in our cash here. So then we'd be probably, if this is still 22, I'd bump up to about 200, right? 220-ish, somewhere around there. And then I would go through, level them all the way up to 600, and then finish the 610, do the upgrade again, and work my way all the way back through. And then I do one more, usually a third cycle, do one more leveling up and removal of every single one as well. And then that way I get ready for the drop down attack. So you'll see sort of basically just like a 3 pulse. You place them all down. Then once you hit all of them being placed down, you work your way back to the start, leveling them all up, and then back to the very end again, leveling them all up to the next prestige. And then the final one is going to be removing after doing the final prestige, so that you can do a couple more drop down attacks. And then the reason why you're going to do that is you want to be able to, it's going to be like an hour-ish, I would say, of leveling up straight to get 3 prestiges out of it. And then you're going to drop down for probably another 2, maybe 3 attacks, like another hour. Place all the businesses again, do another hour of prestiging, and then drop down, do another 1 or 2 attacks, just to keep your bonus high. You want to keep it above 1,000% to be able to make this work well. And yeah, you're just going to keep going through the cycle. Remove all your businesses, drop down, do some attacking, and then place all your businesses again. Try to get 2 to 3 pulse prestiges out, and then remove everything, drop down, do some more attacking. So that's where, it's a lot of work, right? If I were to have bought one of those museos, you would just have the museo on here, basically just set it up with lightning boost and maybe the odd little attack here and there, do some drop downs, every other hour or something, just to get a little extra boost. But you probably could do it fine with just a museo. As of right now, though, I am going to make this one work. It's been working. It brought me from 230 up to 260 pretty quickly, and then I just had to wait on diamonds and did a little bit of leveling as I was waiting. Like I said, you could probably do 1-2 a day, no problem, even without boosting. But now I do have enough diamonds. We were checking here to go from 265 to 289. Each one is going to need 1.8 million diamonds, basically. So, not too bad. Yeah. No, a pretty nice website, though. If you haven't been using Main City Manager, make sure you check it out. It's got a lot of good information on it. So, it gets you a lot of the leveling costs. But, yeah, we're going to be going from 265, or I guess at this point 266 now, and all the way up to 289 on 94 businesses. So it roughly came out to, I think it was like 100 or 10.2 billion or something like that, and then plus another 500 million to get to the next division on one business. We were looking at pretty close to 11 billion. So hopefully we will be able to get there probably tomorrow. I think I'll probably only get about 10 to 15 prestige out today. And then tomorrow I'll just finish off the rest. Anyways, we've got about another 15 minutes. I will drop down, attack, and then we will get to prestiging. So I'll be right back. All right, so we're ready for that hopefully final drop down attack. So let me get back onto Block Nexus. We will remove the Lion's Den. Get our tools off. Put them weapons on. Okay, hopefully the drop doesn't take too long. There we go. Perfect. And does not look like I have anybody that is void that I can hit, so it's unavoidable. I must hit Legion. They've abandoned the cause anyways. They're not playing. That was a good hit, and let's hope for another good hit. And then that way we can get to putting down all of the businesses and get through some prestiging. Here we go. Another 107. Nice. Okay, where are we the best? Still on Block Nexus. Okay. So we put this guy down. Let's make sure we switch back on our tools. And then we will go to Sapphire Sanctum. Now, and this will depend on which region you have more high tier or high rarity businesses. And obviously, if you have the 2% reduction for owning a mythical, that would be the best place to place all of your businesses, just to take advantage of the minus 2% on that region. So what I'm going to do is get to placing some of these businesses, and then once I've got them all placed, we'll come back and we will get through the leveling, which is going to be the bulk of what the technique is, just to give you an idea of how to best spend your cash, since this business isn't going to be making cash like what you would get from a museo or something even better like motors or an arcade or a bank. Okay, so we'll be back in a few moments once I get all these placed down. So I doubt you want to watch me place all of them. Okay, so we got everything placed down now. We are on to the 6th land. See, I put one of the extra ones just in case I need it as I do the final prestiging on these ones. The last thing I forgot to do here is put that booster on. So let's go back, check this. We're almost at 1,000 without a booster, so that is good. We'll probably hit 1,000 once we do another drop down attack, but I'm going to do a cycle of prestiging first. Now, it depends on what you want to use. Obviously, this is a little bit more diamond friendly, but I do have the lightning surges purchased already, so it's not eating into my diamonds at all. So I might as well use the lightning surge at the start. It gives you a little bit extra oomph when it comes to generating your cash. And of course, let's get down to business here. We've got everything laid out. As you can see, they are all set up. This is not a very good land with the different obstacles all set up. This is a much better one. I like it just being one big 4 square, because at least then you could set up a decent amount of 4 space businesses. We've got all of them set up, and then now it just comes down to prestiging. And as you can see, it does cost a fair amount to bring it all the way up. I might do it for a few just to give you an idea of what I mean. So let's see how much we've been generating this cash for a while now, at least an hour. Oh, and just to give you guys a reference, that took me maybe about 10 minutes-ish, a little under 10 minutes to place all of these businesses down. So this is the one technique you can do is, do the 100Xs and then hit that max button just to make it so it's a lot easier for the next prestige. But this doesn't work very well once you get to pacing pretty decently, because the issue that you'll run into is the gold or the cash that you have isn't going to be enough to do this for all of your businesses. So what you'll end up doing is just hitting the upgrade and moving on to the next. That way you can get your cash generation up to the next prestige, functional prestige, so that you're able to push a little bit further and faster. So I'm just going to burn through the amount of cash that I have, because I know everything is ready to just click the prestige button. So I won't have any issues getting through it. So I might as well bring as many of these up to the max level I can. And then that way, when it comes to hitting the next prestige, I don't have as many businesses that I'm going to have to sit here and do these 100X and then the 1Xs, especially because doing that, it can slow the computer down quite a bit. So what it really comes down to with this is being able to pace it well as hoping that your computer can keep up with what you're doing. I know there used to be a bug too where the game would crash if you clicked too many prestiges in a certain time frame. It seemed like almost like clockwork. I would do about 100, 150, somewhere in that range prestige, and then my computer, the game would just crash and you'd have to restart. So that was always frustrating, having to deal with that. But I haven't had it occur this time. So within the last push here that I've been doing, I have not had that experience. So now another reason why people like the cool cats, in case you haven't figured out, is exactly for this reason. You can just hit the 100X once you're already at the max level. There's no diamonds to be spent. So it's literally just 6 clicks on the 100X and then just click the max. It saves you a lot of clicks in comparison to something like the the diner. which you need to click, I think it's 8 of the 10Xs, and on the gym, you need to click 9 of the 10Xs just to be able to clear out all of the diamond spend. So if you want to avoid paying the 5% tax that they charge for clicking that max button, you basically have to make sure you click all of the diamond payments first before you click it, because it does not increase the cash cost. All right, so let's see, we're almost like maybe 20% done. Like I said, this is it's slow. It's a slow progress, but it's definitely a lot faster than trying to push with just a couple of big businesses. If you do have the vouchers and you're interested in purchasing something, it's the route to go. It definitely expedites your progress, which is very helpful, considering, it can be, as limiting as like 1 prestige per day as you sort of move through. But, a lot of people are able to get a good 2 prestige out a day if they have a well set up city with good quality businesses. So you can see, like, it's super slow right now. Doesn't help that my computer trying to record with the software is bogging it down a bit. But okay, I'm going to put it on pause and push through until we get to the first cycle being done, and then I'll show you what I do next. All right, so I finally ran out. As you can see, it's been maybe about 10 minutes of leveling. I'm about halfway done now. I do not have enough to finish this one completely off. We'll just wait a couple more seconds here. There we go. Okay, and then basically, as you can see, I've run out. I still have a lot more to do. So what I will switch to doing is just clicking the prestige button, which goes a lot quicker. But obviously, then when I come back to do the next set, I'm going to have all of these ones at level 1, just because I don't have the cash. I mean, I could click a couple hundred X's if I wanted to, but it doesn't really matter, because at this point, it's just about getting to the next prestige so that number becomes 400 instead of 40. So we can just push through this. I did go ahead and go onto my first land, and I did the max button trick there just to be able to not have to deal with my diner and my gym. I don't even know. I might bring them up. It's kind of nice having at least one of each that are decent quality. And I mean, they don't really provide any value at these prestiges, but in the first little bit, they can at least provide a little bit of a boost to your city. So if you're competing with somebody in the first 10 prestiges or so, maybe they'll help out a little bit. But typically with the drop down strategy, right, you're not even keeping any of your commons on your lands. They're not producing cash for you. Especially like the big thing I'll say about the cool cats and the commons that you're going to be using for this type of strategy. And I mean, you need them overall anyways, right? You're not going to be having 95 museos, right? So you're going to have a fair amount of cool cat lounges and all these other type of businesses. But one thing I will say, like I was trying to get out earlier, is that once you hit prestige 100, these don't really produce any cash for you to any significant milestones. So really, it doesn't matter if they're on your lands or if they're in your inventory, which is why a lot of people keep them in their inventory. But and then after prestige 100, one of the big things you need to know is that they progressively get cheaper, right? That's why this den is able to carry all of these uncommons, just because they at the prestige that we're at now, usually around prestige 180 to prestige 200, somewhere in that range, they become very inexpensive. So you're able to, you can see I already did this one. So you are able to do this type of technique where they don't really cost a lot of cash at all, and the business is going to be able to outpace the cash that they require for the most part. So we're going to see that come true here as soon as we hit the next milestone, and or hit, it'll be prestige 268 functionally, then we will be able to move pretty quick, because you'll see right after I click this next one, this number here at 4198 should become something like 400. So let's see what they hit. I guess that means I need to add one extra business. What are we at? 89. Did I miss one? Didn't miss one here. Did not miss one here. This is one of the hard parts too. You gotta keep focused when you're going through all of these lands, leveling them up, because especially when the little symbol there. So I missed this guy right here. There we go. So now we're up to 417. You can see we're producing a little bit faster. So it only takes like a couple seconds to get enough to be able to do the max level button. So then what we can do, now that we're back at the start, we can click through here. Again, we're not going to want to use the max button. We're going to have to endure the pain and push through like this. So do the single clicks, get this up to the next prestige level, and then just leave it there. So now it's 268, and we're just going to work our way through all of the rest. Doesn't work. We'll just keep pushing, and that's basically it. Now we're going to go all the way back to the very back, and then we'll make our way back to the front by removing businesses as well as we prestige them, and then we will drop down and do another attack. So I'm going to continue progressing these until we're pretty much at 268, and then I'll show you what we're talking about. But yeah, you can sort of see what I mean. We run out of cash. So what we end up doing is we just have to click the 1x's. I mean, you could still probably use the max button, but I don't want to pay 5% bonus on something that's easy enough just to click yourself. So I typically try to avoid that, but again, I mean, it's up to you. If you got the diamonds to spend and you want to just click the max button definitely helps you out quite a bit. But I will still try to finish off these ones just because I really dislike having to click them as much as I do. So I usually just kind of round it out, and then we're good to go. So I'm going to go through the rest of these businesses, and I will catch you once I hit the land 6 here. All right, so we're on the final stretch here. And because we've got a little bit of cash saved up just from doing everything manually, which is another benefit of doing like the single clicks, you can use the max button here just to get yourself ready for that next prestige. Because basically what we're going to do is we're going to finish these ones off, and then we're going all the way back through again, doing one more upgrade in prestige, and then also removing the business so that we can do a couple more drop down attacks. So let's get this going here. There we go. And we can do, I think, probably 2 more. And then that last one we'll just finish off anyways, and it'll bump us up to about probably 4. What is it? CH, I guess, we'll be into. Yeah, it's not quite enough to get this one finished, but close. So what we'll do is do this one. That'll boost us up to 4.16 CH. So that's pretty good. And then this should give us enough here to level this up. There we go, and then level and remove. We didn't need this one, so let's remove it as well. And we got to finish off. I guess I should have waited on this one before leveling up the other one, but oh well. We will get this finished. Make our way back to the front there. Everything will be at 1 level 1 again, but we will be at a functional of 270. So that'll be good. So we've got a few already, as you saw, lined up here. So we can just go upgrade, remove. Go upgrade, remove. And make our way back through the lands again, over to the next one, right? So once I get everything figured out or finished off here, I'll catch you guys for the next cycle of attacks. And then we'll do one more placement, and I think that'll pretty much be the end of the video. So I'll be right back, one moment. Alright, so we got the last few here. I had to do a quick little check by leveling one all the way up, and I did have to bring up an extra one. So when I said I didn't need that one that was at 265, that was a lie. To get to 260 or 290, sorry, 270, you need 90 businesses. So I did have to go back, put that on the land, bring it up. Nice thing is I have this extra bit of cash built up, so I am able to do a couple. So you can see it is 90 businesses that was required. So I am good to go now. Just continuing the last few here, finish off leveling them up, and then we will be dropping down. It did take a little longer. I think we're looking at about an hour 15 minutes, maybe an hour and 10 minutes, somewhere around there, to get these all completed. So, but that is 3 prestiges plus putting all of the businesses down. I mean, we'll confirm it with the notifications. That's why I haven't cleared them yet. So we'll take a look at the UTC timestamp on that and get an idea after I do the next barrage of attacks. Plus, I guess we can also take a look too and see what the booster that I put on, because I put that booster on right before we pretty much started. So we can see how long it actually did take me to get through 3 prestiges. But I am probably putting it in, I'm going to say that booster's probably at like 40 minutes left on it. So we'll have to see exactly what it times out at. But I mean, overall, I think this is probably about one of the quickest ways without having to spend too much, if you were able to find yourself a decent den for a good price. So let's get this last guy complete here. Then we will go and remove the Lion's Den Resort and put my weapons back on and go out there and do some more attacking. I'm probably going to do 2 more attacks just to get the attack boosted up, but we will see. There we go. So we are on to the next prestige here. All right, so let's just remove this. And go back over here. Let's see how many minutes that actually was. So yeah, we're looking at, I guess it was an hour and 10 minutes for all of that prestiging, which wasn't too bad. So let's remove this from inventory and take a look at the timestamp. So the last set of attacks was at 10:14 UTC. And we're looking at 10:35. So that was like almost an hour ago that I could have attacked again, I think. So let's get the attacks sent out. Let's see what we got. There we go. We are above El Rey now. I don't think he'll catch me at this point now that I got the diamonds built up and ready to go. I should have no issues pushing into Division 2. Got a little grouping here. Crypto's not moved much, so neither is Hayton. It's been pretty static. I think a lot of people that got to Division 2 have just sort of held off, especially with the sentiment coming from some of the information on spaces and stuff that's been available, you know, especially with mobile being disconnected in reality, I guess, from what's going on the desktop. So I'm interested to see how they actually merge the 2 games to make them sort of, you know, complement each other. But there we go, not too bad of attacks. So let's see, 58 still. So yeah, this is still the best land, and let's take a look at 13. All right, so we were looking at 1137, and those last previous attacks were 1014. So overall, to place all of them, what was that? An hour and 20 minutes, let's say. Place them all, go through 3 levels, and then remove them all. Drop down, attack, and then we will continue. I'm going to do one more attack, place everything else, and I think that will be pretty much the end of the video. I mean, it's not much else past that sort of cycle. I mean, if you want and you want to be attacking more frequently, you can just do a once forward, right? So like I was doing, I was going from my 6th land after placing everything, make your way through, level everything up, and then on your way back, you could be removing, right? So then when you hit here, all your lands are cleared again. You could do a drop down. So it depends on what you want to do. I kind of like the pulse of 3, because at least then, it gives me an hour. I can get 3 prestiges almost knocked out there. And then do a little bit more attacking just to keep the bonuses high. And then, just keep doing the drop down, then put all the businesses back on. But this is where I'm saying it takes a lot of work, because you've got a lot of clicking, you've got a lot of placing of businesses onto your lands just to be able to continue moving. And, you need to, I don't think it will work without dropping down, just because you wouldn't have a high enough bonus for your business to be able to really move fast enough and have enough gold generation or cash generation to continue just to click without having to worry. You'd have some waiting time. You might have to wait a couple minutes here and there just to collect some cash. Then you could level 3 or 4 businesses, wait a bit more. This way, with the drop down, you are able to stack the bonus and get to a point where it's just clicking, right? As soon as you get to that next prestige, it's just some more clicking, click, 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 right? Hopefully one day they do come out with something a little bit better to give us a 1 prestige button, right? Just click this and it goes to the next prestige level 1, right? Instead of having to go through all the levels. That would be nice. I mean, it's a big recommendation that has been tossed out there a few times. So hopefully that's something that they do. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait, see what they come out with updates wise. But yeah, I mean, I guess as a side note, definitely interested to see what comes out in regards to the mobile. But we are going to hold off for a little bit longer, so I'll catch you guys in the next attack, and then we will get placing. And yeah, I guess that comes to almost near the end of about an hour-long video. So a little bit more to go, and then we'll catch you in the next one. All right, so now we're about to do the last attack here. So let's remove, get the good bonus here, get the tools off, and put them weapons on. There we go. Okay, so then we just gotta wait till the drop down happens. Come on. And hopefully we can time this well. It's just about time for the cubs. So of course, once we get this drop down, then we will chase the cubs. Maybe we'll get lucky and get some extra cash. That'll make it a little bit easier to level up. Oh man, it's taking a while for the leaderboard here to reset. There we go. Drop down to 400 or 4,818. So let's hit this guy. Let's hope for a 260. A miss. Yeah, double check, make sure everything's good. Hate when we miss attacks. Come on, give me a like 110, 114. There we go. That's good. It's unfortunate we missed that first attack, but hopefully now we can hear the Cubs honking. So let's put this last guy on, and yeah, we'll switch back. Make sure we put our tools. There we go. And the Cubs should be honking any moment. What percentage do we have? 616. Don't think there was any higher. Still not. Okay. So there we go. Okay. Now back to Sapphire, and we will start putting down all the businesses. You can hear the Cubs are honking now, so we got one down. Guess we'll start the hunt. But yeah, next up we'll just place all the businesses. Alright, so we're just searching for the last one. If you guys aren't familiar with the Cubs, make sure you get them. The reset is at the same time as the Daily Roar. If you're having difficulties finding them, because there are 70 lands, you can go and you will find people calling them out both in the City Plaza as well as on the Discord. So I just, or the Legion Discord, both those links are down below. So I just saw Edgar Allan Crow, he called out that they were on Sapphire 3. So we find them on Sapphire 3. Nice little 7 million diamonds. That'll definitely help level up at least one cool cat. So there we go. That is all of the Cubs. We are on Sapphire, which works out perfectly. So now I'm just going to continue placing all of the businesses and get back to doing another cycle. So hopefully this gives you guys a little bit of an idea of an alternate way to do the power prestiging using a drop down, as well as using a lot cheaper and I guess a less powerful business, that being the Lion's Den, or if you can get a Leo & Co, one of the single space rares. But hopefully you guys found this informative. Drop down in the comments below if you guys have tried doing something like this, or if you did try the power prestiging technique to get yourself to Division 1. It's definitely one of the most powerful techniques that you can use for prestiging. It does really outpace any normal or I guess organic city building that you might have, but it is a little costly, as you are going to have some vouchers to be able to purchase a business to be able to do that with. Now, it isn't a requirement to do this, obviously. If you want to play organically and just level up naturally, there is a video also that I've done on drop down techniques, so you can sort of see a little bit more in depth, or you can just go based off of what we were talking about here and see how I sort of laid out a drop down methodology. But if you are interested, or if you have any questions, drop down in the comments below what your concerns or questions are, or if you want to see a little bit more in depth as to what I am doing. But yeah, hopefully by the end of this weekend I will be in Division 2, and then I'm probably just going to be in a holding pattern for a bit, let my diamonds collect. I'll probably set up all of those business combos you guys saw at the start of the video. That way I can get a little bit higher diamond gen. I mean, it will boost me up about 6 million per hour, so it's definitely worth building those business combos specifically just to take advantage of the extra diamond generation. But again, it doesn't really facilitate a easy drop down technique. So you either put the business combos down just to be able to generate those extra diamonds, or you just forego them. And a lot of people like to do the aerial bombardments, and that's another way to boost your diamond production while using the drop down technique. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. We do have the final video for my other series coming out very soon. That is the part 4 of the series, which will be a budget video. So we had the first 3 videos covering all of the NFTs available in the game, and the final video will be me putting together a budget of different values and recommending what I would, I guess, prioritize if I were a new player coming into Main City. Of course, though, the issue with this next video, now that we have the news that the mobile version is going to be different than the desktop version, I'm not exactly sure if the video I am putting together as a budgeting video will still stay relevant for a mobile version of the game. I'm assuming it'll probably be pretty relevant, but there may be things like, the lands that might not be as important. It may be more important to get yourself some of the avatars to be able to send them out on expeditions on mobile. So we are still waiting. Hopefully they'll have more information out on what mobile is going to be like, and once I have some more information on that, of course I'll be making a video to keep you guys all in the loop. But that's essentially what I got for you today. Just going to finish placing all these businesses, and then I'm going to do another prestige cycle. Get these all up to probably 272-ish. I might even just stop here and just focus on the prestiging. Now that we've got at least close to a 1200 attack boost on my business, that should be a decent enough to carry me for like 3-4 hours of just working on prestiging. So if I can get 3 out in about an hour, then if I got 3 to 4 hours to focus on that, hopefully I can get another 10-ish prestige done and get these up to maybe 280, and then it just comes down to that last final stretch of not even really 10 prestiges to be able to hit that division 2. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. We'll catch you in the next video. Drop down in the comments below if you guys have any questions, or if you want to discuss this technique a little bit further. But all in all, thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this informative, and maybe can use this to help accelerate your growth for your city. So take care, guys, and we'll catch you in the next video.